All right, good afternoon. It's John McLaughlin here, and we're ready to go with the Crossfire trading session, 1 p.m. UK time. Here we go. So on the charts, we've got the Euro CAD, the Euro USD, GBP CAD, and GBP USD. We're currently on the 15-minute time frame for all pairs. What we're going to do right now is just go and put the trend lines on and the vertical lines just in readiness for 13.15. So go and put the vertical lines on right now. Go and put these on, and then we'll go and check the news. I've already had a quick look. One quick way you could do this, instead of having to click and drag and click and drag, okay, you could just quite literally just right click and then just go on to clone, okay, and just go to there and that. So let me save a little bit of time, okay, just if you're getting a bit annoyed with having to click every 5 minutes with, and it is a very clicky kind of software trading view. You're always clicking and dragging and making things a bit bigger and a bit smaller. That's just the nature of it. So anyway, Euro USD. So we'll put a vertical line on the 1300 and a couple of trend lines on there. So if we just do that again, if we go to clone, see, I've lost where clone is now. So you know what, bugger it, just bloody click and do what you're used to. Right, there you go. Right, GP CAD. Therein lies a lesson with not a lot of things. Okay, just if you just do what you're used to, okay, and you know, when it comes to trading, if you're getting results with the strategy, why change it? Okay, just because someone says they're making 1,000,000 pips on the XYZ strategy doesn't mean you're going to. Okay, so if you're using this strategy successfully and you're winning the trades that we look at, then perfect one strategy. Don't move on to something else. The grass is not always greener. Sometimes people just use more fertilizer, and we know where fertilizer comes from, don't we? Right, okay. Right, let's have a quick look at what's happened. So Friday, we looked at the charts on Friday. It was non-farm payroll, and as you can see, the prices just went crazy, as they always do, non-farm payroll. So we had a big move to the south, or it was a big sell-off on there, and then price kind of almost corrected. This is a 15-minute time frame, so price came all the way down. It's a bit bigger so you can see it. So if we measure this from kind of where it was, take the magnet tool off, all the way down to here, we're looking at 52 pip move in 15 minutes. Or it was actually less than that, because it kind of shoots down real quick. So you're looking at over $500 million, okay, in 15 minutes being put into the markets, and then what, 15, 30, 45, an hour later, an hour and 15 minutes later, that money then gets put back in. And clearly, all you can see with news items is it's an opportunity for the financial institutions to manipulate the markets, okay? And they have to manipulate the markets because they're dealing with such big money involved. I mean, you know, if you're a retail trader and you've got, you know, $5, $10, $15, $50,000, okay, in your account, it's nothing compared to the $500 million that they just went, yeah, okay, non-farm payroll, let's chuck it in, let's take the price to where we want it to go, and then we'll take the price back up. Because what they're looking at here is they're looking at taking out previous areas of imbalance where they've got money on the table. They're looking at taking out other people's stop losses to liquidate the markets for themselves, and then they will then readjust it. So again, what they're doing is they're going along, taking money out of people's pockets, if you like, okay, and then using it for themselves, okay? And you've got to be really mindful of that. When this is why we're always looking at the news. We're looking at the news. We're interested in political events, and we're interested in doing the whole analysis. So you've got to be careful. And non-farm payroll is the most volatile time of the month. It's the first Friday in the month when we get the non-farm payroll reports. So yeah, so that was that. So what have we got so far? So far, I've still got this bloody cough. try and get that shaken off. So 15-minute, let's have a look at the hourly. So on the hourly, where are we at in terms of price direction? Well, it's just kind of going sideways. Okay, there's nothing particularly definitive on that. Let this load up. So you could say, you know, from somewhere around, my computer screen's a bit slow today, from the 21st of November down to where we are today, we have kind of been in a down sell. So we're in a downtrend. Okay, this is on the hourly time frame. So again, that see what I mean by always clicking and messing around with trading views? It's a right pain in the ass sometimes. Right, Euro USD, let's see what that's done. So this is this morning, 8:30, big bearish move down to the south, and have we got some imbalance here? Let's have a look. So on the 15-minute time frame, let's put the imbalance on. We've got a few minutes left, so we can have a look. So this area here, let me just get rid of that. This is previous areas of imbalance. I'm going to get rid of that because that's gone. I'm going to take off the indicator so I can see what I'm doing. Lovely clean chart, and you can see, look how this pivot line, look how the price respected this pivot line perfectly, okay, before moving to the south. Okay, so these are interesting areas. Yeah, okay. Right, we'll go to here. Imbalance, okay. So nothing on there. Maybe a tiny bit of imbalance. Yeah, we'll just leave that for now. Right. And there's a bit up here as well. Let's have a look. Euro CAD. So we've got a bit of a imbalance there. Straight away you can see it. Let's take the indicator off. Right, so we got anything else? See how price is just going sideways at the minute. Nothing there. There was imbalance there, but that's been mitigated. Okay, let's leave that. That's on. So this is GBP CAD, and we've got a slightly different different patterns going up. Okay, so a bullish move. Doesn't look like there's any imbalance here. Maybe a tiny bit here. Let's take these indicators off again. So we've got imbalance here. Look, is that imbalance? Yeah. Okay, imbalance there. Let's have a zoom in. So there is imbalance here, but it's already in the existing imbalance, so yeah, looks like we're good for that. And let's have a look. 13:10, 5 minutes yet. So GBP USD, not a huge amount of volume on this either. No, oh, I've got a little bit there. Yeah, I've got a tiny bit there. Look. So we've got imbalance up here, which has been mitigated. Imbalance up here, which has been mitigated, and this is right, imbalance here as well. So from the bottom of that body to there. Okay. Okay. So essentially, if this is the first time you've seen the channel and you're thinking, you know, what is he doing? What's the imbalance about? What are these trend lines? Why is he doing that? Then go and have a look at the card up there, and I'll give you access to my free mini course, and it goes through the specifics of the strategy, about 7 or 8 modules, and it will really help. It's not a massive, great big convoluted course that some people put together. It's just a really short and to the point course that just gives you all the information that you need to know. And again, this strategy is really straightforward, and the essence of it is we put the trend lines on the price, and when the price goes above the green trend line, we're looking for potential buys, and when the price goes below the red trend line, we're looking for potential sells. And of course, there's lots of other factors involved with the strategy, but that's essentially the crux of it. What you've got here, if you look at the straightforward Forex indicator, this is an indicator that's been scratch built. It's been developed over the last 7.5 years, and it's invaluable. And essentially what we're looking for is wave ups and wave downs. Okay, so wave ups looking for potential buys, wave down for sells. And if you can see here, this is the wave indicator, and it just gives us indication of the price, and we put all this information together to form an opinion of, to make a decision based on what we're going to do. This is the PSAR, the parabolic stop and reverse, these dots here. Okay, and for buys we want them to be green, and for sells we want them to be red. All right, and generally, you know, a lot of things about that is if the distance from the PSAR to the body is bigger, then potentially there's more volume. And then we're looking at also the moving averages. We've got the 200, we've got the 62, we've got the 13, and we've got the 5 moving average. And essentially with the moving averages, what we want is we want the moving averages to be pointing in the direction of the trade, and we also want them to be in order as well. Okay, ideally. Okay, so sometimes see where you get the crossover. You get the crossover, and then we're looking for potential price reversals. Okay, and we've got the Wadar Atar, which is like 3 come on brain, three tools in one. Okay, so we've got the dead zone, which is here, the histogram. So the histogram can give us an idea of volume. So if we've got a nice big bar, okay, lots of volume, little bar with no volume on here, which is inside this dead zone, this blue zone, then we just kind of leave price alone. There's not enough volume. And also the explosion line. Okay, we want the explosion line to be moving away from the dead zone, okay, to give us another indicator. Right, so 13, 15. Let me just take everything off. So with this, what we're looking for, this is our 1300 candle, this little spindly indecision candle here, and we're looking for the higher high, or the candle that is higher to this one. Okay, so I'm going to use this one here. So I'm going to put my magnet tool on, I'm going to come over and put that onto there, and then I'm going to bring this down to the top of the wick, just to there. Okay, that's it. Now the lower low for this one, put the crosshairs on, it's this one here. So I'm going to go over put that on the wick, and I'm going to put this one on the wick as well. Yeah. News. Okay, so we'll go and check the news in a second. Euro USD, higher high is this wick here. Put your magnet tool on. Magnet tool just, it snaps. Look. It's nice and simple. And the lower low is this green one. And just on there. GP CAD. High. Well, it looks like there may not be one. Okay, because that is the start of the session. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go and put this on. And then we're going to put it horizontal. So we just click on it, hit shift, and let it go, and it puts it on horizontally for you. Okay, the lower low, this green one here. And the wick, there we go. That's it. That's them all done. So what we're going to be doing, put the indicator on, put it on the 2-minute time frame, and take the magnet tool off. There we go. So 2 minutes, yeah, that's done. That one. Indicator's back on the 2-minute time frame. And same with this. Okay, there we go. Right, so here is the news. So we've got low impact news on CAD, okay, at 1330, and then high impact at 1500. But we don't have the 1330 news that we usually have on the US dollar. So that's kind of interesting. It'd be interesting to see what happens with the volume. Excuse me. Got to have your trading coffee. So that's my FX book. If we look at the Forex Factory as well, they sometimes have a slightly different perspective in that they have not much information at all. All right, 1:30 they've got the CAD news, which is again showing as low impact. Then at 3 o'clock it's saying medium impact news on the CAD, and then not really much else until 5 p.m. Of course, we're going to be finished by then anyway. Right, so let's look at the pairs. Okay, so we've got Euro CAD. Right, it's between the green and the red trend line. Okay, this is affectionately known as no man's land. So we're not interested in anything. And look at the WAD Arata. There's kind of zero. Excuse me. Apart from this little spike here, which doesn't inspire us with any confidence. There's zero volume. But look how the prices respect to the trend line. Okay, so when you see this sort of thing where it comes down almost perfectly, it has perfectly. It gives us confidence that these trend lines are in the right place. Okay, so nothing doing. Exactly the same here for Euro USD. It looks like we've got slightly more volume, but the histogram has gone from here. We've got this little spike up to there. It did go past the 200 moving average, which is interesting. However, the volume's gone, and we are still in no man's land. Okay, so we're not bothered about that either. No man's land, green, red. Okay, if it's in this area, we're not even going to look any further. We'll just go on to the next one. And this one, we haven't put the trend lines on. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, make sure in the 15-minute time frame. Right, this is going to be the same. It's going to be a horizontal one. Shift. And the lower low is here. Right, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and there we go. Okay. But again, it's a very similar kind of situation. We've gone below the red trend line. Okay, so that will maybe prick our ears up a little bit to go, oh, sells? Are we looking at sells? If you look at the WAD Arata, there's no volume in it. Okay, the explosion line has moved away. You can see we've got this nice little bull run up to there, which is represented by this explosion line moving away from the dead zone, but now it's starting to curl round and it's coming back up. Okay, so it's thanks for that. So we've got these the explosion line starting to move back up towards the dead zone, which isn't particularly brilliant. So we're going to keep an eye on this, but we're only probably about 2 pips away from the pivot line, which is going to show us an area of resistance. If it pushes through there, we've then got the 62 moving average, and then the 200 moving average, which are very clearly points of resistance. Okay, so it's not really in our favour yet to be looking at potential sells. Although in terms of the indicator that we've got, the straightforward Forex, it's telling us we're still on a wave up. Okay, the PSAR has flipped. The moving averages are not in favour, kind of the pointing upwards. So again, we've got to wait for this to do something anyway. And right now it's not. I mean, even if you were looking at taking a trade from where it is now to down to the 200 moving average, you're looking at 12 pips. Okay, and whilst that may fulfill us getting a 1-to-2 ratio, because that's what we want a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, there are too many obstacles in the way for this to be even considered anything like a sensible trade. So we're just going to stay out and just see what happens. So that's what we can do. We can flick through no man's land. Okay, that's starting to push down, which is kind of interesting. So the Wadarata, it's showing that there was a bit of a push, but now the volume is, see that colour has gone like a salmony pink. That's because it's weaker, and obviously that's indicated by the fact that the candle is now green and not red. And if you look at where the price came down to, it came down to the moving average. Okay, the 62 moving average. So that 62 moving average is resistance, and where the price comes down, okay, so this trend line is still resistance because it's still dragging its feet, it's still going through it, it's still touching, okay, and it's also touching the 62, which means this price, even though it's still in resistance, it needs to break away from this 62 and then start to make its way down. The next question is, okay, where may price go to? Okay, well, we've got this area here, okay, this kind of equal low here, okay, which is literally going to be about 2 pips away from where price is now. From there, okay, 4 pips. Then we've got this lower low here, okay, which is kind of where I would look at possibly taking or a possible take profit level. So that kind of area there is kind of interesting. So if price starts to come down and show us some more positive price action, because right now it isn't, then we would consider getting into a trade at this level here. Then we'd look further back. You see, look, it sort of respected it about there as well. In fact, conservatively, that would be a better idea. Somewhere about there would be more sensible, more sensibler. And see, we've got this area here as well. So that area there is going to be it's not a major point of resistance, but it is a turning point of resistance. Okay, where we then add that reversal. Okay, but that's kind of what we're looking at. And then obviously, depending on the price action at the time, we've got this first target, and the second target could well be the pivot, but it's not there yet. We're still in resistance with this 62 moving average. So let's have a look at Euro USD. Oh, we are on Euro USD. So again, from here, 4 pips that moving average, and 11.8 pips to there. This is I think that's all. I'll leave that for now. So again, if we were to do a trade on this, we would short the position, okay? And where would possibly, I mean, this area here, this is your breaker structure. And if we were to do a 1-to-2 with this, okay, it takes us past the 200 moving average. Ideally, okay, I'd want it to go to take profit to the 200 moving average. would we want maybe to bring that stop loss down a little bit? Maybe the top of that. No. See, that takes us above this trend line, and I was maybe looking at this engulfing candle taking at the top of that, and then we've got a 1 to 2 ratio, then brings it to, yeah, that's a bit more sensible. Okay, let's move that over. The 62 is going to be a resistance, but the attractor is going to be the 200 moving average. If you look at these lows, okay, these areas of interest, it kind of takes it pretty much to where we want it to be. So that could well be a nice trade. Okay, so let's just leave that for now. Let that do its thing. GU is doing something fairly similar, but the numbers, I don't think they really work, because the two, yeah, 9.3 pips. 9.3 pips of a 200 moving average. We're currently in resistance on the pivot, and by the time you sort of take into consideration your broker spread, you're not really going to be making a lot. The numbers don't really add up for that. So here, just checking that. One thing I didn't look at was the explosion line, which is moving back towards the dead zone. Even though we've got more positive price action with the histogram, I would have liked to see the explosion line starting to move away from this dead zone in a slightly more positive way. It's not on the dead zone, but it's not brilliant either. So let's just see how that goes. Yeah, so the pound US, not really doing much at all. I mean, we've got this nice bull run, okay, and the lows from here, probably look at something like that. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay, so, but you see, it's got all these hurdles to go through, and to be quite honest, quite rarely do you see price go to a 200 moving average and then continue down, okay, unless there's something significant going on. Usually it'll break through the 62, okay, but then it'll usually bounce off the 200 moving average. So you've got to say, okay, have we got enough to profit till it gets to the 200 moving average? And there isn't enough. No, 6 pips. By the time you give away a pip or 2 pips to your broker, you're looking at 4 pips, and you may as well not bother. You know, it's not sensible. Right, EuroCAD. It's still in no man's land. It's still, see how it's respecting this trend line. So that trend line is it could well get breached in a second, because just looking at the explosion line start to move away. Okay, like I say, any of these lines, price could bounce or break, but in terms of the numbers, okay, yeah, we're looking at 10 pips. It's always narrow, isn't it? It'd be nice if that distance from price to the pivot was something like 15 or 20 pips, but we are on a 2-minute time frame. Yeah. So where price is now, look at this, that price there, we're at a current resistance area. And if we were to get into this right now, that's the wrong one. So what I'm waiting for price to come below the red trend line and also have a gap, okay? And that might be in the next candle, it might be in 5-10 minutes time. but we need a gap because currently, because it's dragging its feet, because that wick is still over the red trend line, it's still resisting. So we're still in resistance. And the thing is as well, if it does come to this area, okay, where we have a bit of a gap, okay, we have a new candle, it starts here, and it goes down to the pivot line. Look, we're 8.3 pips. So we're getting to that zone of, is it really worth it? And it isn't. So yeah, we might get excited because you know, it's going below the trend line, but the numbers don't work. So that's that. What have we got here? We have 6.6 pips. Possibly we could have got into this one a little bit earlier for about 9 pips, but it's all bits. It's all bits and pieces, and it's all, you know, we want to be getting into great trades, not just any old trade, okay? And these are just scraps off the floor, really. Let's have a look at the one that we looked at. Yeah, so it's come down to this area here. It started to reverse. So if you were in this trade, watching it come down, I mean, price may well go to this area here. We'll just let it run, and go. Okay, but I say one of the things that you really want to look at is look at the dead zone and the explosion line, and if it's moving away, then consider the trade. But currently, when we looked at this one, it was moving back towards the dead zone. So again, everything really wants to be aligned. You want all that confluency, as we say. Everything wants to be matching up, and a thumbs up from all your indicators means you get in the trade. And if you get a thumbs down from one or two, then base it on its own merits. Right, nothing doing with that. GU. Yeah, see, that was coming down. Okay, we got a little bit excited because it went further down, and then it reversed. Okay, so now we've got the gap between the red trend line and that. And obviously, if we're going to consider anything to do with buys, it needs to be above the green trend line. So currently we're in a wave down. Okay, we've got red PSARs and the water ATARs just showing us nothing. So we've got to wait for this to do something. Euro US. They're all painting the same picture, really, in that, you know, what is available is pretty poor. So it could just be a case of just waiting. So in a case like this, if you were looking at your trade and you're going, okay, I'm going to stop loss, it's going to take me out. Let it take you out, okay, because it's all part of the process. And you know, if you're dealing with you know, a demo account, then use it as good experience. But there is no experience like using your own money. You know, I mean, a funded account is a little bit different because sometimes you may not consider it to be your own money, and there is that slight disconnect. However, if you use your own money, even if it's like you put $100 into an account and you've got 1%, okay, it's still a loss. Okay, it's not a massive loss. Okay, 1%, $1, you know, fine. Okay, a win's $2, a loss is $1, but it's still a loss, and it's still visceral. Okay, and it makes you realise what you're actually doing when it comes to trading. So it's all part of the experience. Okay, so go and do it, and then look at this and go, okay, we got stopped out by what, half a pip, and why was that? That was because we changed the stop loss. We looked at going to the breaker structure here. Okay, and this may well go up further yet. Okay, but we tried to make it work to take profit above the 200 moving average. Okay, so, you know, can you polish a turd? Well, yeah, you can. Okay, but it's still a turd. All right, and that's what I'm talking about when it comes to good trades and or average trades and really good trades. As one of our educators in the team says, Brian, he says, you know, we're not just looking for any trade, we're looking for really good trades. Okay, and that's what you want to consider all the time when you're looking at a trade. Is it a good trade? Is it a great trade? Okay, is it a great trade? Yes, we're going to get into it, but like I said, you know, if it's a turd, it's always going to be a turd. Right, GU, diarrhea, no mind turd. It's very low volume. Okay, not really giving us much of anything. Kind of starting to rotate sideways now. The Wadar Atar is showing us there's not much volume. Well, I suppose the explosion line is moving away from the dead zone. But look at the state of the candles, it's just low volume, and we're not really going to entertain that. All right, let's have a look at GCAD. Oh, sorry, EuroCAD. Again, EuroCAD, the same thing. Like, there's not much volume. But here's the thing, right? Let me just tell you something about volume. You'll be going through the pairs, and you'll be going no, 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 and you get to a point where you go, oh, it's rubbish. Trading day is rubbish today. I'm off, okay? And you go and make a cup of coffee and you come back and the price has jumped 20 or 30 or 40 pips and you miss out on opportunities. Okay, so you've always got to keep your sail open. You've always got to stay responsive. Responsive is the word. Okay, I was going to say optimistic, but that you don't want to be anywhere near optimistic when you're talking about trading. You just want to be cold and calculating, okay, and that's the best way to be, and always keep looking for opportunities, and you've got to be flexible. Okay, prices come down, what's going to happen? Oh no, prices are going back up. Okay, are we now going to go for a buy? Let's have a look. Let's reassess, readjust all the time. Okay, so nothing is excuse me, nothing's really happening right now, but that doesn't mean, you know, at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock something might happen of significance. Okay, like this. Now you get into a trade like this. Okay, this was Monday. Wow. You get into a trade like this. Okay, you're in for the sell. You put your trade manager on. Okay, we've got access to a trade manager in our group. Okay, again, it's been custom made. It's been developed over a number of years, and you stay in the trade. Okay, you set your numbers, and your trade manager stays in. Okay, staying in, taking the profits. Okay, staying in, taking the profits, and it goes up to a certain number of pips. Okay, maybe you can set that alert to maybe 15 pips or something, and it'll take you out. But on the way down, it will allow you to take more and more profits, and moving your stop loss all the time. So this is one of the great things about moves like this, is that you can benefit from greatly. You know, so that's something else that we're going to start to look at as well. What I like to do with these sessions, I like to keep them really simple. Okay. Because as soon as you add something else in, this is what used to happen to me. Somebody would say, okay, we're going to learn the Crossfire strategy. We're going to go through it. This is what you need, 1, 2, and 3. That's all you need. Okay, and then somebody would go, okay, well, but what about 4 and 5? And I'd go, what's 4 and 5? Okay, and there was another strategy that came on, or another indicator that came on, and it throws you. It doesn't just throw you a little bit. It completely unhinges you. Okay, as a trader, because we're trying to learn things step by step. And one of those things right now could be something like the SVP, okay, the volume profile. So let me just show you this. This is very similar to things like pivots, okay. So the volume profile, essentially, let me just show you real quick. Okay, it gives you areas of where the most trading volume happened during that particular trading day. And one of the things that we can do with this strategy, okay, for additional areas of interest is we can look at what we call points of control. Okay, so this area here, okay, is yesterday's point of control, and this is where the majority of the trades happened. If you look at this cluster, okay, and what we find is that very similarly to pivots, in a similar way to a 200 moving average, we can set this as a potential take profit level, okay, and where might price want to get attracted to. But I say we've already got the pivots on, we've got the points of control here, and we've also got imbalance. So what you want to be quite careful of, quite mindful of, is knowing how these work, but not having everything on your chart at the same time, because you'll just get yourself confused, okay? And this is where doing your back testing comes in. All right, you can go to as many live sessions as you want. You can watch as many people on YouTube as you want trade. But until you actually do it, and you do it repetitively over a prolonged period of time, you're not going to learn trading, okay? Because that's the way the brain works. The brain works in many different ways, and the way that most people learn trading is by doing their own trading, back testing, and repetition. And when it comes to things like the volume profile, okay, and looking at the previous day's POC, point of control, and point of control, if you think about the way that we mitigate imbalance, it's very kind of similar, although the point of control can be an attractor for that particular trading session. So what you do is you do some trading, you look at it, you put your point of control on, and you find out, well, what's the relationship between price in this situation with the point of control and that situation, and how does it correlate to the pivot, how does it correlate to the moving averages, and also the imbalance, okay? And it's up to you to do the back testing and get into that pattern, okay? Because you will find those patterns of commonality, and that's really all trading is. Right, so here we are, Euro CAD. It's going for the buy, okay? So we've got a wave up, we've got the PSAR flip, we've got some good distance away, we've got some nice movement on the histogram. We're currently in an area of resistance, so it's resistant at 200 moving average. If it moves above this, then we're probably looking at let's have a look. So this imbalance is going to be an area of, the bottom of the imbalance is going to be an area of resistance. Okay, we know that. The first thing this price needs to do, it needs to go above the moving average and start generating some clear air. So we're just going to let that do its thing right now. Okay, nothing on there. Okay, that's doing similar things, starting to go above. Okay, again, probably looking at about 6 pips to that pivot line. Yeah, 7.77 pips. GU's doing nothing. So Euro CAD, what's it doing? Still in resistance. Look, it's still resisting against this pivot line. But again, we go, okay, great, we're going to get some clear air. Where's it going to go to? Okay, it's going to go to the bottom of the imbalance initially, and we've got 7.6 pips. Okay. You know, it's the numbers don't really work. Then we've got this area of interest here. Okay, let me put this on because I'll show you how it correlates to price. So we've got, I would put it there. So they, is that wick there? Okay, tap in there. See that this red candle came up to there. this candle went through it. This didn't quite get there. Okay, again, touched it almost. So that is an area of interest. Okay, and you can kind of say, okay, well, is price going to go up to there and then bounce off again? So in terms of, you know, what we're doing with this, is it a good trade or is it just turd? Sorry, I'm using that phrase too much. I'll stop it now. It's not a great trade because, again, the numbers aren't really working. It looks like price is rejecting. Excuse me. Looks like price is starting to reject off that pivot. So it's not looking great for us. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because, you know, we could have looked at this trade and gone, yeah, let's get in. I know it doesn't really work, but let's get in anyway. And then we start losing. You never want to do that. You always want to be looking at on the side of caution all the time. So Euro US. That's about it for today. How was your trading day today? That was it. Okay. But you know, we're doing 4 pairs and we trade twice a day. 6 a.m. typically is always a good time to trade. The open of a London session, we sometimes see more volatility than the open of the US. Not all the time, but you know, the London City is the financial capital of the world. Okay, not London. London City is a completely different jurisdiction. It's got its own police force and everything. Okay, and that was the agreement made many years ago. So London session is good for the Crossfire session or the Crossfire strategy, and also the strategy we call relaxed, which is where we can take a lot more pips over a longer period of time, and that is a very good strategy. What we're doing now is scalping, so it's like, quick, have a look, let's see how much can we do, right, in, out, done. Okay. Whereas a relaxed strategy, it's relaxed. Okay, we get in, we have a look, we come back in an hour, have a look, maybe leave it in for a week. Some people a few weeks. Okay, and that's the way that strategy goes. GCAD. Okay, so GCAD starting to move away from the trend line. However, the red trend line is going to be an area of resistance, and then we've got the pivot. Okay, so what have we got from here to the pivot? 5 big pips. In fact, yeah, that was an area of interest from previous. I put it on the 15-minute time frame. Right, so just above the pivot, we've got this area here, which kind of looks quite tasty. In fact, if we look at this cluster here, okay, I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to be conservative and bring it to there. Excuse me. So it's an area of interest. We've got lots of taps on the candles, lots of taps here. Okay, and so it looks like we've got imbalance there as well. So we've got imbalance just down to there. So excuse me, if we measured this, from where price is right now, so we're only looking at 9 pips. So we're going to wave up. Okay, check. The candle, oh yeah, I'll be going on there. 2 minutes. We're still going to wave up. Wave up. Sorry, I just clicked something. What have I done now? I don't know what I just clicked. Damn it. Right, hang on a minute. I was taking all my indicators off. Oh. Anyway, it wasn't going well with that. Okay, so we've got the wave up. Okay, we've got price. It's taken all my indicators off. Let's see if we got. That's got it back, I think. There we go. There we go. I don't know what key I pressed. Right, so we've got the wave up. Obviously, price has gone sideways again. We've got the PSAR. PSAR is green. Okay, but we're in the consolidation. That's no use. The Wadarata is showing us there's no volume. So even though we've got these areas up here, the price is now just consolidating, going sideways. No, nothing on that. CAD, that's what we just looked at. GBP USD. I mean, yeah, it's below the red trend line. And what we got there? 11 pips to there. So you may well have scraped, and it's a very big scrape. Scrape the numbers to get your 1-to-2 ratio. But look at the price. It's in resistance. Then we get the gap between the red trend line and the body. Okay, but look at the WADA. Would we have got into this? No, would we heck? Okay, would we have got into it here? No, because now the explosion line is moving back towards a dead zone, and there's not really enough volume. Okay, so would we have got in here? No, because the candle's the wrong color. Would we have got in here? No, you wouldn't. You just wouldn't have entertained this, because it's not a good or a sensible or an intelligent trade. Okay, and that's it. There's just not enough volume at all today, or currently. And you know why? Because we haven't got our 1330 US news. And it's sometimes when you get the news, you get the volatility, and as a scalper you can trade that volatility, as long as it's not high impact, majorly high impact, or you wait until after the high impact news is gone, and you trade that way. But this price has pretty much been in the dead zone all the time. Okay, for the last 53 minutes. So yeah, no good. This one we just looked at. GBP CAD. Again, it wants to go above. It wants to go. And the WADA is kind of showing us there's not really much volume. It's probably just going sideways. And if we look at the news, when's the next lot of high impact news? It's 1500. So what we want to be doing is putting our parallel channel on. I've got low impact now on the, just about coming up, low impact on the US. Let's have a quick look at the US pairs. Is that going to have any impact at all? No. And even if it does, we've still got to wait for price to come above the green trend line. Okay, so nothing. Euro US, no, nothing. yeah, so we'll just go and put some parallel channels on and wait for an indicator to wait for the alerts to kick off. But like, you've got this zone here, there, top and bottom, and kind of between the two, we're looking at 18 pips in that. Look, still in the dead zone. Sorry, in no man's land. Euro US, nothing really happening on there. GBP CAD, again, tried to come up, now it's reversing, nothing on that. GU is the same, it's just the same. So we had this nice bull run at 12.38, okay, so that would have been nice. That's what you want, that's the sort of thing you want, okay. So what are we looking at? 12.38, so 10 o'clock. There was no news. 13.30. So again, we can do parallel channels. If we look at something with a reasonable bit of, yeah, okay, we'll use that one. Parallel channel, okay, just, again, the same way you put your trend lines on, just press shift, all right, not put it on, yeah, it will. Right, hang on. Right, do it again. Right, so there, across, shift. There we go, shift and click, then let go. Then bring it down, okay, and bring it down to probably about there, because that's kind of where your zone is. You want it around there, okay. Click on the clock, and you GBP USD, you want to exit in the channel, exit in the parallel channel, and you can either do it only once, or once per bar, or once per bar close, or once every minute. So I'm just going to do it just once, okay. And the message, you can put whatever message you want, just to, you know, let you know. You can write a message to yourself and click on create, okay. Once that's done, you'll see the little icon on there to tell you that as an alert set, and you can go to the next one. And essentially this works really well, because if you're of the mindset where you go, well, I've been on the charts an hour and it's rubbish and nothing's happening today, and if you don't set the alerts, then quite often you can get into doing some of the work and you'll forget about it. If you set your alerts, you'll be like, oh, what's that? It's going off. Oh yeah, let's go on and see what's happening. And you know, it works a treat. So so set your alerts, okay. So GCAD, power channel. So we'll put it about here, I think. Bring it down to there, so we want it kind of, no, we don't want it there, do we? Have it there. So it does come below this area, okay, then we can consider, if I wanted to get a little bit higher. That'll do. Oh. EU. I mean, EU might look like it wants to go down to this area of interest here, like we said before. We've got this pull down, okay, but currently where we are now, 5 pips, okay, and again this wouldn't. Oh. GCAD. Right, so it's just pushed out of this parallel channel here, okay, and we can make an assessment, but at the moment I'm not really interested because there's not enough in this. And if we go to the 15-minute time frame, there's where we're looking at. If we're going to go to the next area, we'll probably look at somewhere around here. Did have an area of interest here as well. So there was quite a lot of downward movement from there, and it might be worth just having a quick look at that, just to identify some. Yeah, loads of imbalance. No, isn't. So that was a lot of imbalance. Okay, on Friday with non-farm payroll, but then it got instantly, or pretty much within the last 10 minutes, it got mitigated. So. So, a bit of imbalance there. No, it's all right. So you can see how it came onto our area of interest. See why I put these things on. So yeah, we could have made what, 4 pips, 5 pips out of that, and probably had too much of a risk, because in order to get a 1-to-2 ratio, your stop loss would have had to be very tight again. So it's very tight on that, and there's our kind of the first area where we would look at taking it above the green trend line. So I don't know, take it from somewhere like that. What are we looking at? 8 pips. It's not enough for me. By the time you've looked at broker spread, and by the time you've got in and set your stop loss, it's just not viable. Okay. Let's put it back on for 2 minutes. So the next thing we'd look at from a buy perspective, obviously things are starting to reverse. And look, if you look at the 1 hour as well, you've got this inconsistent levels of volume. So it starts to go, then it comes back. Okay, then it starts and it comes back, and you get nothing, and then it just starts to go, and it goes up again. You know, it's like starting a 40-year-old diesel motor in -40. Okay, it's going to take some going. It's going to take some warming up. Okay, and that's what the markets have done on this session. Okay, that's not to say it won't change. Okay, it's not to say it's a bad trading day. It's just to say that right now there's not much volume. There's not much volatility. Right. Okay, we've just been on an hour, so I'm going to wrap things up from there. If you've got any questions, please drop me a comment below, just down there. If this is the first time you've seen the channel and you want to get more information like this, then hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate that. And if you got some value from this or any of the videos on this channel, give us a thumbs up. I really appreciate that as well. And thank you for all the subscribers that have come on board up to now. This channel's relatively new. I haven't promoted it greatly. There are still lots of things I need to add, really, and that's coming this week. So looking forward to doing that. So thanks for your session, or thanks for the session, or thanks for being on the session, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.